The Red River Farm Network Crop Tour, presented by Pioneer. We've been on the road all week, and it's been a great week. Beautiful weather, great people, and a good chance to see what's going on with this crop situation. Kevin Sindner with us, field agronomist with Pioneer. You've been hosting us on this final day. We appreciate it. You've been showing us some really good crops. Let's kind of recap the day for us.
Sure. Well, thanks for coming out again, Don and Whitney. We started off this morning up in Larimore with McCoy Pioneer Seed up there. We were looking at their soybean plot up there with kind of a unique plot where they got all three traits in there. They extend flex, and enlist. So it'll be exciting to see how that plot turns out when the harvest happens. And then up there, Dennis is celebrating his 40th year of selling Pioneer seed. So this fall, 40 years for Dennis, and congratulations to him on that. After we got done with McCoy's, slipped over to the Thompson area with Mike Stenvold Egg Services, and actually looked at some canola. Canola was coming off up there, and pretty happy with the way yields were looking there, with about 2,400 pound average on the canola there so far, in spots that were going over 3,000. And in all cases so far where we've been today, common themes are it's been dry, it's been spotty moisture, but things are kind of still hanging on. So all that being said, we're here now, kind of down between Comstock and Sabin. This corn crop we got here actually looks pretty impressive. I was surprised how good this looks. This is some 96 day, 9624, and it's probably about a third milk line right now, but it filled all the way to the tip. Big kernels, we got about 33 long, and it looks like it's probably 18 around, or 16 at least. So this looks pretty impressive here. I'm very surprised how good this corn is looking, and I think the beans in this area are still pretty green. We're in a little bit of a lull down here. We're up north. They're kind of getting ready to harvest some beans already, and canola's going off, and wheat's being combined as well. So right down here in the southern middle part of the valley, kind of a lull, but it'll pick up here 2 or 3 weeks from now when this heat gets done and these beans drop their leaves.
Yeah, we've got the heat coming this weekend. We've got corn rootworm pressure when you get to this southern part of the valley. What's the plan of attack when you start thinking about next year?
Yeah, so corn rootworm pressure this summer particularly was kind of a surprise for a lot of growers. We saw these green beetles all over the place this fall or late summer. And in some cases, guys started seeing like, well, my corn's tipping over. What's going on here? Well, their roots were all chewed up by these corn rootworms. So going into next year, in some of those scenarios where guys have had pressure, they're going to have to start thinking about going triple stack corn with below ground protection to help alleviate some of that corn rootworm pressure.
We didn't have a lot of moisture recharge last fall going into winter. We didn't get a lot of moisture this season, at least when we wanted it, and it looks like a similar scenario going into this fall, this winter. What's that mean for us as we start looking at the growing season next spring?
Yeah, well, we got to cross our fingers that we're going to get some moisture yet this fall, whether it's now or whether it's a month from now. But if we don't get moisture, there's probably going to be some tillage that they're going to have a tough time even getting through the field because it's going to pull too hard and they're going to be burning up tips. In some cases, it might be warranted to leave this tillage until next year and hope that we get moisture, or hope we get something similar to this past spring where the snow melt can kind of percolate down and give us some moisture. But it's something where we're going to have to try and start conserving more moisture around here if it's not going to rain.
We've got corn standing beautiful right now, but I got to believe especially this heat coming this weekend, that's going to make it tough on these stalks.
Yeah, it will, and it's a concern. It's been a concern because we know we've been dealing with kind of a drought situation here. The corn is cannibalizing itself. It's evident. You can see the firing on the bottom of the stalks. And when you get hot weather and dry weather and windy weather like's forecasted, those things don't actually marry up and do very good things for a farmer trying to harvest. I'm just a little scared that if we end up having a day like yesterday where it's 30-mile-an-hour winds, 40-mile-an-hour winds 3-4 weeks from now, we might have some issues with stalks and just all crops. Beans might be shelling out in the field because we know that wind and heat can dry a soybean field out really quick, and it can dry a cornfield out really quick too.
We naturally want to see that corn dry down in the field in most years, but that might not be the best scenario in that kind of situation.
Right. It's really tempting for a guy to try and save on propane, try and save a little money, let that field dry. But the danger you risk doing that is if you end up getting one of those days late when you've gotten to the point where like, I'm just about ready to pull the trigger, and then a 45-mile-an-hour wind comes and dumps all your corn on the ground. It's not a good thing in hindsight after that. So,
Kevin, looking ahead to next year, I guess I should say we've got the A series soybeans, and what I like about them is they're produced for this region in this region. So we've got the genetics that's really meant for this kind of dirt. We've got some exciting new stuff on the horizon, though.
Yes, yeah. The A series we have currently, we're already in the top rung of all soybean companies and products for IDC tolerance. And moving forward, our next advancement this fall, it's going to be a new series. It's not going to be A series. It's going to be something new. And the reason for that is because Pioneer's Corteva is really excited about. We got 3 years of genetic gain that we're going to kind of unleash all at once here this fall, and the agronomics, the yield, and everything is supposed to be even that much better again, which is saying something compared to A series soybeans.
Exciting stuff. Any final thoughts?
I would just recommend that as soon as the crop is ready this fall, get out and get it. Let your dryers do the work if you need to. Don't let it stand longer than you want to, because Mother Nature might be taking more than you want.
Kevin Sinner with us, field agronomist with Pioneer. Like I said, it's been a fantastic week as we've been traveling all across North Dakota and Minnesota to get a snapshot on what's happening with the crop conditions and getting us geared up for this harvest season. It's the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour presented by Pioneer.